Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Playeasy Warmup podcast, where we dive into the stories of the people shaping the world of sports tourism and events. I'm your host, Kerri Shields, and this month, Playeasy officially turned 7 years old. And to celebrate, I wanted to bring on someone who's been here since day one, my co-founder, teammate, and dear friend, Ryan Quigley. We first met at Boston College, where he played football alongside his best friend and our CEO, Sean Flaherty, while I was on the basketball team. They were both a year older than me. Ryan still holds the record for most punts at BC and went on to play in the NFL for 5 seasons with teams like the Jets, Cardinals, and Vikings. Fun fact that he often forgets, we did take a leadership class together when he came back to finish his degree while he was still playing in the NFL, which feels like such a full circle moment now that we're leading Playeasy together. Today, Ryan runs the event organizer side of our business, helping connect and support the people behind the incredible sports events that drive this industry forward. Ryan is truly one of the best guys I know. He is as humble as they come. It's only because I made him talk about his experience in the NFL that he ever talks about it. And I think it's a testament just of who he is. He's an incredible husband. He's an incredible father and just a great teammate. And I feel extremely lucky to be on this journey with him. It's been an honor to build this company alongside of him. I'm so excited for you to hear more of Ryan's journey, his perspective on leadership and growth, and what the past 7 years of building Playeasy have meant to the both of us. Let's get into it. Hey everyone, quick pause to let you in on something we're really excited about. We are hosting our company's first ever summit this summer, the Playeasy Innovators Summit, from July 21st to 23rd in Valley Forge, PA. This isn't your typical conference. It's 3 days of powerful conversations, hands-on workshops, and real-world strategies for how we as an industry can level up with new technology and AI. We're talking sessions on growing event leads, boosting visitor and event experiences, and driving revenue from your Playeasy profile, all while connecting with top destinations, organizers, and partners from around the country. Plus, our team loves to have fun. We'll kick things off with a party, venture to one of Valley Forge's top attractions, and wrap it up with a Phillies-Red Sox game, and pack everything in between with value you can actually take home and use. If you're in sports tourism or destination marketing, this is where you need to be. Head to go.playeasy.com/innovatorsummit or email us at support@playeasy.com to save your spot. We'll see you there. Ryan Quigley, welcome to the Playeasy Warmup podcast.
Hey, Kerri. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Anytime I get to talk with you, it's good.
Oh, thank you. I know we just celebrated our 7th birthday as a company. We started in April of 2018, so I thought it would be a great time to have one of my co-founders on to get to know you a little bit more and talk a little bit more about our journey to get here. And so I really appreciate you taking the time.
Of course. I mean, you're not gonna bat 100% with your guests. So you were due for a different kind of interview here. So yeah, it'll be fun. It'll be fun.
Well, just to start, could you give a bit of your background prior to Playeasy? So growing up in Myrtle Beach all the way through to your time at BC and the NFL.
Yeah. So to keep it kind of short here, I grew up in South Carolina and right near North Myrtle Beach, just north of Myrtle Beach, and grew up in a family that was all sports. So my dad was an AD at a local high school, PE teacher. So growing up, we weren't inside. We were always playing sports, me and my sisters, and which led in high school, started punting the football and was not too bad at it and kicking a football, and was able to get a full scholarship to Boston College. And that's where I met Sean Flaherty, who was our CEO, where I became your biggest fan. Going to the basketball games. I know you give me a hard time about that, but I did go sometimes. So I was the punter, Sean was the long snapper, and we were also roommates. And, so we spent a lot of time with each other. And so that was BC. And then after BC, I was fortunate enough to bounce around the NFL. Went at that for 7 years. Got to play for five. And Sean and I always stayed connected. And the way we did that, we ran camps in the off season, so long snapping and kicking camps. And I'm sure we'll get into how that then evolved into what we're doing today. But yeah, that's a little background on me.
Awesome. And could you give just a little bit of an idea of the 5 years that you were playing, what teams you played for, maybe
Yeah.
some highlights of that time prior to Playeasy?
Yeah, yeah. I like to stay away from the highlights when I was playing. I was very much below the radar. So my first 3 seasons were with the New York Jets, and then went to the Cardinals for a bit, and then finished with the Minnesota Vikings. And my last game, and I see you wearing your Philadelphia hat. I now live in Philadelphia, but was against the Philadelphia Eagles in the NFC Championship when I was with the Vikings, and we got absolutely demolished. But it was a really cool experience still.
And I know you are one of the most humble people I know. And when we started Playeasy, you were still competing in the NFL. And so, kind of making that transition, could you talk about what that was like? Why you wanted to go straight from, having this great career in the NFL to starting a company?
Oh man, that's a good question. So this was a joke I used to do when we would kind of tell our story, how we had, we saw this problem, we were all kind of facing it, and we all decided to take the leap and start Play Easy, leave our jobs, and yeah, so I couldn't, the phone wasn't ringing anymore for me, so I was without a job. So the NFL kind of ended, but with the position I played, I was kind of like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. You know, kind of hoping to still be playing, but really fell in love with the problem we were trying to solve, and the timing's everything, right? And a lot of things that we do, and it was just an awesome opportunity and a problem to solve, and to continue to work in sports post playing in the NFL was amazing, right? And that we'll get into all that, I'm sure, but like just just staying in the sports ecosystem, I think like there's so many former athletes out there, and there's not always many positions in the sports world that where people can continue to do so. I feel very fortunate to be doing what we're doing today.
Yes, and I am as well. And so you speak about the problem that we had. So what problem were you and the team and I trying to solve when we started Playeasy?
Yeah, so um, going back to when Sean and I were running those kicking and long snapping camps, the hardest part of that process was finding a venue, finding a field space. Never really thought it would be that difficult, right? Because, we had money to spend that we were going to go. The venue was a very important piece. Like we needed uprights, we needed, bleachers, we needed, you know, place for equipment and that sort of things. And that process was so time consuming and it took forever. And so, doing a little research online, mainly Sean, he's always been the tech friend, and loves the Uber Eats and the DoorDash and all that kind of stuff. So he's like, why isn't there something similar to like Airbnb for renting out athletic space, right? It came back to that. Um, why are we going on Google Maps, looking for green grass, like the coloring on the map? So, um, yeah, so we continued to do some research. Luckily, with all of our backgrounds, I know your mom's we have very similar stories of how we grew up, and being able to talk to the right people in the beginning. Um, I remember we went to our Parks and Rec in North Myrtle Beach, Matt Gibbons, and I remember sitting with him and talking about it, and he was like, "Yeah, no, there's nothing out there that kind of brings it all together," and it's if you guys can figure out a solution, we'd love to hear about it. So yeah, I mean that's where you know it first started, but an idea, what we learned quickly, is very far from creating a company, and obviously that idea has evolved into many different things, and to where like now where it's very clear the problem that we're solving. It's a long-winded answer, but yeah, that's it.
No, that was great, and it's funny when I was reminiscing just over the course of the past 7 years. I think what was common for all of us was that we were trying to solve a problem for a problem that we had. We were trying to find a solution to a problem that we had, and I remember making your website for Quigley's punting camps and trying to figure out, okay, how does this work within like Boston Parks and Rec, and really validating that there is a real problem here of the disconnect between people just looking for places to play and the places that we could play. And so looking back for you, was there a key moment or kind of breakthrough that validated your vision for Playeasy?
I do remember it took quite a while for that moment to happen. I going into it, of course, myself with no background in building technology or starting a company, um, just love sports, and yeah, you have a renter and you have fields. Let's connect the two. Just build a website and then let's chalk it up to that. But um, what I realized was how much we didn't know really quickly, and how different everybody operates, and what makes them successful is because they are there. You have different brands, you have different venues that want certain things. You have um, there's so much technology was obviously it's where it is today compared to where it was 7 years ago. I mean, that's how fast things change. Where it was during that time, websites were really not good. It was very rare for us to find a facility website or a event organizer website that made sense or was easy to understand. So to answer your question, which I didn't there, was the validation started coming when, instead of us, calling everybody, almost like begging to like give us a chance, was when they started coming to us, right? Um, you know, un, where we were getting out our message, and over time, and continue to listen, and we you know re- we changed our what we were doing multiple times to find exactly where we were going to fit. Was when they started coming to us, and how like, and I think everybody that listens to this podcast is familiar with the sports tourism industry is very much an in-person industry, right? So it is very much um, going to conferences, which is where we learned what we needed to do to, we figured out where the problem really was and what technology we needed to create, so that, which helped a ton. But when we'd go to these conferences, we realized, nobody was coming to us. We were always going to them. And I think like 2 or 3 years, 3 years, 4 years in, going to those conferences, and people are now coming up to us and wanting to meet with us. I think we had the meeting portal. I don't know if anybody asked to meet with us. It was always us. Um, and a lot of times over, but which was great because, you know, again, that's where we learned, like, just listening to the destinations talk, listening to the facilities, listening to the event organizers. Um, and you, then us communicating for an industry that is very much not a tech, used tech in the past, as a tool, where we were able to then create, and over time, just again, timing's everything, where, you know, it's cool to see where we are now.
Yeah, I love that. And I think how, as you mentioned, our business model has changed quite a few times over the course of these 7 years. But I think one of the biggest turning points was kind of what we were pre-COVID times and what we were post-COVID times, which was we shifted to that Airbnb type model to what we are today. And so Right now, you lead the event organizer side of our business, and you are amazing at it. Could you give an overview of Playeasy and how it serves event organizers specifically today?
So the way I would describe on the event organizer side, and just to keep it simple, we're an event engagement platform. So on the event organizer side, we focus on key parts of their journey. And it starts with key parts of their journey where we found from listening where, all right, how can we make their lives easier? So the first part, and one of our where we started this company and why we started this company was finding a host, being able to research, easily find, but then also being able to alert those destinations and venues when you do have a need. Because the hardest part for any destination or venue is to identify when the opportunities are out there, and then also like who are the players out there, who are the tourism producing events out there. And the other things on the organizer side is is getting more exposure for their events, right? And then getting the support of the destination once it's booked. So those are things that are super exciting that we're diving into today with a lot of cool new features coming out. But yeah, so like the thing I always hear from event organizers talking to new people that come to the platform, and that immediately it's like it's the wow moment is when they see over 15,000 facilities with like modern profiles, and then also decision makers to speak with, right? So like that alone, and then once they hear about the RFP side where you know go out and explore, go out and grow your network even if you don't have a need. You know you never know until you put yourself out there, and you want to be found. And that's the beauty of the internet. That's the beauty of technology. If done right, it can take a two-person team, which is, most event organizers are not big teams. It's usually a mom and pop shop where the number one priority is to run great events, and that is a full-time job. So when it comes to staying up to date with contacts at facilities, knowing when new facilities are being built, and then knowing when availability is out there, that's our goal on the event organizer side, is to fill the gap there, unlock opportunities, and help those event organizers grow and become successful with their events.
And I think how it's evolved so much since those 7 years. I think we started with about 12 core sports, and we've learned and discovered so many sports and activities that we never even knew existed when we started Playeasy. Could you give maybe an example of a success story from the RFP connection side of our platform that really opened your eyes, or maybe you saw as a big milestone for us as a company?
Yeah. But that's been the most fun part, is seeing all the different sports there are out there. I mean, it's incredible. And for somebody that, you know, I loved PE class. That was my favorite class growing up. And, the best was when they threw out all the balls and, things to use. And now I'm learning about, like, there's 100 others that could have been, that they can go out there and do. So it's really cool. And each year there's a new sport that's just getting started. So, but yeah, so like, an example and this was pretty early on, that stood out. There was a hockey organization that, had never been, they were on the platform, but were never active and run tournaments around the world. And we're about 2 weeks out, or no, a month out from a major tournament. And because of things that came up, the facility, like, they canceled on them last second. And they had, I think, over 500 teams that were scheduled to play in the tournament. And so they were basically going to cancel it. And I told them, like, hey, let's see what we can do. Let's get this out to destinations. Let's, where are you interested regionally? And we kind of narrowed it down a little bit. I'm looking at, the matches, and I'm like, oh, we're down to like 10 matches here. That's not a big number. But what happened was, they were able to connect. A destination reached out quickly, and long story short, they were able to secure the venue and secure the event. That was successful, and I think they still go back there each year now, where they never went to them in the past. Um, so like things like that, obviously, like there's the last second piece, but really like where I see like that the what is the wow moment is majority of event organizers across the country, they are regionally focused, or they're, could even be like they run one event a year in one spot. And the reason, and they've done it for years and years and years, right? They're content. Obviously, if they're, you know, they knew like there was another opportunity, like they're very hesitant, I guess, to, to try to go secure a new space. Um, and with our RFP process, part of it is, again, being able to identify the venues instantly that are a good fit with the art. So like one, you post your RFP, put your information in. We're going to match you with all the venues and destinations that are a good fit. They get alerted instantly. And then, you know, on once you post the RFP, you can see everybody that you alerted, and then, those that are interested and those that are passed. And up until like 2 years ago, you know, it still wasn't a phenomenal experience. But what you see today is like we had an RFP posted this morning, and I think they had 6 destinations say they were interested within the hour, and that's not even saying like the number of calls that person received. So um, I got a little off there, but the example is, and this happens many times, but where a smaller event organizer, hasn't really put themselves out there. They're not well known in surrounding states, even where they do put something out there, where a destination has availability, has a venue that's perfect, and maybe they had reached out before and they didn't have availability, but because they put that out there, now it's top of mind for that destination, and then being able to get the support from the destination, yeah, and they were able to run a successful event, and now they're looking even further out. So it's seeing that slow growth, to into different regions, to different venues. Um, is the best to see, and it's a free tool for event organizers, so it's kind of weird, I guess, in their eyes. Like, so it's always, this sounds too good to be true, but the amount of, how fast sports is growing, amateur sports, professional sports. I mean, it really, that piece in tourism bureaus, like more and more money is being put towards it, and the support continues to get better and better and better for these events. So as a event organizer, getting the support from a destination, like there's no better experience. Partnering with a destination, there's no better experience for those attendees, and that's how you keep those registration numbers up. So yeah, I mean, I always say, like, we have 720 event organizers. I feel like I'm a part of everybody's team, and they can call me anytime. And the fun part is that we are the destinations that do use us see the benefits, and it's just, I love seeing new connections being made, new partnerships. I mean, that's a big. I mean, that's probably the best part of what we do, in my opinion. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And I think even when we first started, we did not even know what an RFP was or what the power of an RFP is. And could
No.
you just talk through, when you say we are connecting, it is our platform that's connecting. Could you just talk a little bit about that process and what it looks like for an event organizer?
Yeah. So yeah, RFP had no clue what that was, and I would say a lot of it's improved over time, but a lot of new event organizers that I'll speak with, I'll have to explain it. But basically, an RFP, all it is, hey, I'm looking to find new venues, or that could potentially host one of my events. So with our RFP flow, we just gather, basic information as far as, what type of venue are you interested in hearing from? the number of spaces you need. You can get as detailed as you want, or keep it pretty broad. And we get, as you put in that information, our technology is matching you with the venues that meet those requirements. So instead of, I think like, other technologies that were out there that, did help with this process, nobody was really getting alerted. Nobody, like, people were getting hit with RFPs that, didn't make any sense. And then, the worst thing you can do in this industry is waste time. So with our RFP tool, the benefit is we're going to match you with, get as close as we can with our matching. And when your RFP is sent out, it alerts those destinations, right? So the decision makers at the destination level. And, you talk about not knowing what an RFP was. Before we started Playeasy, and as we got into this, we didn't know what a CVB DMO sports commission was. So having that conversation with the rights holders that have never worked with the destination, have only gone to the facilities, and sometimes you kind of have to really, talk through it to explain why the potential of like what you could be missing out on and the support you could have, and unlocking venues that you wouldn't ever have been able to get in if you were to just cold call, or just, unless you like knew somebody at the venue. So the RFP connects you directly with those destinations. They get alerted, and they can see quickly, the project, what the event looks like, what venues are a good fit, and where, what's really important is you have these text boxes where it's just, all we ask for is just like, give us, the short little spiel of like who you are and what your event looks like. Anything that you can provide that talks about your credibility, or, your mission, or what you're what you're looking for. And then when those destinations do reach out with interest, you're starting on step 10 rather than 0, right? Which that could be like 10 meetings. So you post your RFP, you're not booking anything. What you're doing is you're teeing up those conversations to then, like, really unlock those opportunities that, that could be really good for you. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think something that happened recently, we work with USA Track and Field and they're new users of our platform. And I was talking to them, and they were just thanking us for unlocking destinations that they never even knew existed for some of the events that they are looking to throw over the course of the next few years. And so to hear, such a prominent name of an event organizer see so much value in just the RFP connection piece of our platform is, I find extremely rewarding.
Yeah.
And still sometimes kind of shocks me, but it's been really cool to see just how valuable the event organizer side of our business has found our technology. And that's a big part for you continuing to educate a lot of our event organizers, because I don't think people realize how much of that is your day-to-day job.
Yeah. And that was a great episode, by the way. Really good
Thank
one.
you.
Yeah, they were recently on. But yeah, so, and them coming on and having that experience, but I always like to put myself in the destination shoes, and I always tell event organizers the same thing. Put yourself in their shoes. You're talking with somebody's working for the CVB or DMO, it's their job to market all their facilities and everything their community has to offer. And the hardest part for them is to knowing when the opportunity is out there and when it exists. And a lot of these people at the destinations, not all have sports backgrounds. It's a very very much like new people come into those positions all the time. Most have the sports background and kind of have an idea of what to go out and look for, but many don't. So if you think about it, like, I would hesitate to think I can call USA Track and Field and say like, hey, like, we'd love to, we have a track, we'd love to host you. With our RFPs, it kind of breaks down that wall. And even with the NCAA, like, their motto is their last when they put out all their bids, and we sourced them out, but there's a championship for every city. So like, just seeing that, right? And then technology speeds up the process where you can actually like you have that matching side of it, and you can see like, all right, when do I need to respond by? And then for an event organizer, I can clearly see, what's a good fit and what's not, and the ones that aren't that get alerted. It's now you do know who to speak with. Say like there's a different size event, right? Maybe for that particular event isn't a good fit, but you didn't put in the RFP that, oh, we run this size event that actually would be a great fit for that destination, or we'd love to grow into that location someday, but we're just not there yet. But now that you've begin that journey and grow your network. So instantly, for an event organizer, when you join Playeasy, you have a Rolodex of all those contacts, and you have a way of communicating.
That's great. And so we've talked a lot about the connection piece of our platform. So once that event is booked, an event organizer knows that they are going to have an event in X city, X location. How do we help service that event?
Yeah, so just like posting an RFP, you can also market upcoming events. And just like everything on Playeasy, it's just a few steps where you just input information, and you're able to create a page that is very easy to understand, but also very modern looking, where customizable, where you can add video, you can add imaging. But really, like, everybody's doing that already on their website. But the whole point of any event is to make sure it's being seen, right, and getting as much traction as possible. So there's the SEO side of things, right? So marketing your event on Playeasy, you're going to come up higher on Google. They could come across that page, people typing in keywords, which could lead to more registrants. But the real power of those pages is when you tag the facility and destination on the event. And then what actually happens the majority of the time is the destination is the one marketing out their upcoming events. So, an event organizer now sees the destinations marketing their event, which is a great feeling as an event organizer, because it shows like it is a real partnership. They want our event to do well. They're pushing it out there. And then that event now is seen by all the, the community, the local attractions piece. I know I'm saying things that we haven't talked about yet, but like a destination will list out all their local business partners. So all the things to do in the area. And then if you need help with hotels, they list all their hotel partners, which is really important for a destination. They just would like you to stay in the lines of the city. So there's, I talked a little bit about who we are for event organizers. There's finding the destination and venue, and then what really has the long-term impact on the event organizer and the attendees is the experience, right? So by marketing those events, you're now able to see everything that community has to offer, which is really cool to see now. There's a lot of destinations that are utilizing this, and they're seeing it, how this is another tool, whereas like before, and they're probably still doing this, where it was very much like a manual process, putting up signs and all these things. But what does everybody do today? They're on their phones, and everybody knows how to use a QR code. Everybody knows how to look at maps and search things. But now just just making it easier and showing the power of like how technology can, power this whole event experience and be all in one place, and provide a great experience. Is that I talked for about 3 minutes there.
No, I think we could truly have, and we probably should have a whole episode on the event experience, because
let's get John
really
in here. We need our CTO for that one. So again, I work on the event organizer side. We're not as technical as the destination side. We just like to go out and perform.
Yeah. And I guess lastly, just in terms of our technology, we've recently came out with our AI tour guide, and enhancing, once again, that overall event experience in a digital way. Could you speak to what that has meant on the event organizer side of things?
So everybody's familiar. I think everybody today now can see the power of this whole chat GDP AI movement. And because we are a technology platform, John does, he's the best in the world and he's always on top of these things. So he found a way to, incorporate that into what we do on the event experience side. So for these destinations, their profile has all the things to do in the area, and we have a marketplace where you can search there. But John created, and what the way people use it today with this AI tour guide, I can type questions just like I'm typing questions into Chat GDP, but this Chat GDP is run by that specific destination for that specific event. So it's tailored to that specific experience for those attendees, where it knows, like, okay, you're here, you're at this event. These are all the cool things happening in the area. Oh, this is right nearby. This is like been well known for, group dinners. You know what I mean? It's great with kids. This one has a promotion for your event. So, and that's going to continue to get better and better. Even on our RFP side, we have an RFP assistant where event organizers, it's literally like, another person on their team where they can just talk to it. All right, I'm looking for 4 fields in Florida. Show me all the venues that have that, right? It's incredible. So that's the RFP side, but the event experience side is really cool. So people are on their phones. It's very user friendly, mobile friendly, and I'm excited to see that to continue to grow and more people use it. But yeah, we've had great response so far, so it's in the right direction.
Awesome. And so as we reflect on the journey of the past 7 years, it's crazy that, who would have thought that this is where we would be today? But what has been the most rewarding part of building Playeasy?
Getting to work with you, Kerri, it's got to be it, hands down. Man, but honestly, we were very fortunate to. We have an incredible team. There's 10 of us, right, on the team today, and all with a passion to solve this problem and just passion for sports. And we're very fortunate that that's our day to day, right? So my day to day is I get to talk to people, event organizers, and with over 120 different sports, and each organization, usually the person that's running that organization, has a passion for it, where I don't think that's the same in other industries or other jobs, right? My parents were teachers. They would tell me every day how much, how every day their glass was full, and how they wish they were. They make teachers by far, have an incredible impact on our world. But being able to work in sports and being able to, tackle a problem, and after failing 100 times in what we were building, we're still here, and that's more of the personal side. But yeah, it's just to do what we've been doing, be in the industry that we're in, which is made up of so many incredible people that take so much pride in their cities and take so much pride in their venues. Going to conferences is really cool because each booth is highlighting that community and everything it has to offer, and those people are true, they're selling why you should come to that community, but it's for sports, right? So yeah, working with passionate people, being in sports, that's been very rewarding.
And how about what's one lesson you've learned in the startup journey that you'd share with aspiring entrepreneurs?
This is the Guy Raz question from How We Built This. You can't steal that, Kerri. Oh man, it's fall in love with the problem, I guess. And just if you fully believe in it, and you don't lose that, you're gonna be okay. It requires a ton of patience, obviously hard work, all the things that we all know. But yeah, it really, really like fall in love with the problem. When we first came up with this idea, right? Airbnb for sports facilities, not one person like didn't say like, "You're kidding me, that doesn't exist," or "That's a great idea. You guys, you're onto something. Like that's so cool. Like do it." But then not getting any signups for 2 years, hounding people down. Like we were building this incredible tool, we thought, but we just had so much to learn and just understanding like where technology really fit with each of our user types, destinations, venues, event organizers, and through all that listening and then really like just building credibility and just obviously you need to have a good product. It doesn't work you just talking about it, and we're fortunate to have someone that can build great technology. Um, so you know, yeah, I mean that was just like it was really weird for me to hear that from so many people. Dude, that's an incredible idea. You guys like I can't you timing's perfect. Everything's great. I don't see anything on the internet. There was a reason why it wasn't created yet because it needed 7 years, and we still have a long way to go with what we're doing, which is it's tiring, but it's still like a really cool to see like we are focused on the right problems, and then you know our network continues to grow every day, and the people that do join, they're great with feedback, and we'll just continue to get better and better. So for that, yeah, that was another long-winded answer. I've had a lot of those today.
No, I mean, think when you say we've failed 100 times, that's being generous. There's been so many
You failed.
setbacks.
You never failed. I think I would always come in with the failures. You were always on. No,
No, but that's why I was excited to have this conversation and actually take time, because I don't think we take a lot of time to reflect on everything that's happened. And I think one of the biggest lessons I've learned is, well, I guess a few different lessons, but always taking the time to remember like the problem we're trying to solve. And I think we, started out as friends and really trust and believed in what we were trying to build, which is just making sports more accessible.
yeah,
And I think that having a team with people you trust towards a common goal, I think is something, we wouldn't have gotten this far without that trust and those reminders. And not really having an ego. I think you would agree with this. We are constantly learning every day. And so admitting we had no idea what an RFP is, we really didn't know what an RFP is
not.
when we started. So it excites me how much we get to learn and continue to learn, and we'll continue to build for the event organizer side of our business. But
Yeah.
what does excite you most about the growth of Playeasy and its impact on the sports tourism space?
Um, I think I keep repeating myself. How important timing is, and really, if luckily we kind of like were the first ones to at least like what we've seen like really focus on this problem in the sports tourism industry, and yeah, so like what's exciting is that our industry year after year is growing and growing and growing. Um, Talking with destinations, right? Like, they're seeing, post COVID a little bit less and less on the leisure side of things, the meetings. But one thing that hasn't um, changed trajectories is sports. So very excited about like, you're seeing more money being poured into our space, new companies being created, and which is just great for every player in the industry, right? The more attention we can get, and amateur sports is not going anywhere. I mean that is what brings people together. That's what like breaks down any barriers people have with each other. and it just, it keeps the world moving. So um, we're in a cool spot, and we have, again, I hope John listens to this so he can hear all the shout outs I'm giving him. We have somebody that is just uh, amazing at building technology and is going to continue to like stay ahead of that. So like for our destinations and for our event organizers, just continue to like have tools that can help make their jobs easier. It doesn't do their jobs for them by no means, but it brings in people that would never have gone to that city. And then for event organizers, seeing venues that they never would have seen or are known, they could get into. Right. So, and then it just one one big event for what it does for a community, for local business, the whole economic thing, like that. I didn't know that much about that side of things. I grew up in Myrtle Beach. Sports tourism, runs our economy. Who would have thought? They have tournaments going every weekend, and that what that does for the community and everybody that works. I mean, it's cool that we're in that space. It has a tremendous impact on our world.
Yeah. And I think too, what excites me just for your side of the business is we've spent hundreds of hours searching the internet for every type of event organizer, every type of sport, and we are constantly learning of new sports and activities. And I think just as our platform continues to grow, we've seen the different types of events that have come through. And so just the opportunity that we have to connect with a whole array of sports and activities that we never even knew existed, that could benefit from using our technology, I think is really exciting for us as a team and for you to lead us in that direction. And so how can an event organizer get involved with Playeasy, and where can people learn more and connect with you?
Let me look up your phone number real quick. You wouldn't mind that, right?
Yeah, no, nope.
I'm just kidding. So Playeasy.com. You never have to talk to me if you don't want to, but I will definitely, when I see you come onto the platform, I will be reaching out and offering my support. I love to talk with everybody that joins, and we do like it is free for event organizers, but it is membership only. So there are certain measures that we go through just to make sure, they're legit. And if they were to post an RFP, it's something that a destination would be okay seeing. Yep, sign up on playeasy.com, or do I have to say my email and or say my phone number?
You
You
can say
guys support. You
support at
support.
playeasy.com,
Yep.
and support
Support
will
at,
send that off to you to connect.
yep. And Kerri sends a gift basket for everybody that reaches out. No,
Yeah. And lastly, just to refer, it is free for the event organizer side of our
free.
business. So I know that's always a point of contention just because it's not believable, but it is.
Yeah.
And Ryan is a pleasure to work
We
with. So,
we are, and this is a key point, Kerri. We are not involved in any part of the transaction. We are not involved in any way. Like we are providing technology for destinations to like market everything, their community and their facilities. And that's where we make our money, is from destinations building technology for them. They're wanting to connect with event organizers. So on the event organizer side, we're here. You don't lose the same, like the support they get on the destination side is the same as what we do on the event organizer side. I think that's something that's different across our industry, where yeah, like it's free for event organizers, but like there's not much. I would like there's not enough time really to meet with each one, but we do that at Playeasy. You can call me anytime, and then also like I can help you with how to communicate, who you are and what your needs are and what destinations are looking for. I think that'll always be something that will benefit event organizers with, because on my side, just been posting RFPs for 7 years. I mean, I feel like I've seen so many different ways of communicating their needs. So like, seeing what's worked, what doesn't work so well. If I need to start capturing data from my events, what should I be focused on, right? I think that's a big piece. Because there are obviously the economic impact side is, and that's something that we didn't really talk about. But with our technology and the reporting, the experience side of things, because it's through technology and because we're able to track clicks and we're who's using promotions and where they're clicking from, we're getting closer and closer to that actual economic impact number. Whereas, like, that's always been something in our industry, from what we've heard. Um, Somebody saying, like, I had this many people that stayed overnight and this kind of impact. And there was really no way of, like, where a destination and EO could have visibility into that data, or, like, unless, they went out and did a survey together and were able to get everybody to respond. So that's been a really cool part, right? Because that's how you're able to, get that support from destinations in the future. And then it helps those destinations advocate for, how powerful these events actually are for their communities.
Yes, and well, clearly we will have to have you on again, and I think after this, you are invited.
No, no,
Invited
no.
back
This
for
is
another,
one and done.
but
One and done. In 7 years, I'll come back. But
yeah.
what's been your favorite part of this, Kerri? Because I mean, you've we've just did sports ETA, and
Oh yeah.
I mean, I couldn't even get a word out. Where's Kerri? Where's
Yeah.
Kerri? And I mean, you're kind of like famous in our industry now. It's nice that you talk to me stuff. But no, how's it going with these conversations for you?
Yeah. Oh, are you asking just in terms
I'm
of
asking,
starting the
yeah. So
podcast?
I'm doing my part of the podcast now.
Yeah,
Tell me
I
you're
don't know,
doing,
switching around.
because
I
that's got to
think,
happen someday.
yeah, I think starting this podcast has given me that time to really center me and bring me back to why we really started this. I've been kind of on every
Good
part of
point.
our business. I touch most parts of our business, and so was behind um, my desktop for a few years doing the coding
I'll
and
give
all
John.
that kind of
I've been
stuff.
giving
So
I've been giving John a lot of shout outs, but Carrie also
yeah,
Carrie also has spent time in the coding world. So like
dabbled, but
yep,
uh, but no. So it's been really nice just to be able to have the time to really get to know some really incredible people within our industry. And I think that we get to interact with so many interesting and cool and passionate event organizers and destinations and industry partners on a daily basis, whose stories really should be amplified and told. And so it's been fun getting to do that and being able to have some personal time with our customers
yeah.
that I haven't really had over the course of the past few years. And you've been a big part of that. I know, just helping connect with different event organizers. Definitely get to learn more of your part of the business, which
Yeah.
is also fun.
Well, it's been. I mean, you've really. I mean, I haven't. I don't know if I've thanked you, but yeah, it's really been helping out on the event organizer side. Giving them the opportunity to communicate what they can't communicate through an RFP or on their profile. I mean, just again, we're in sports is a face to face. It's a relationship. Technology, again, like we talked about this beginning, it's never been you know a tech play, or like people are hesitant to use it, but you know obviously we've seen the power of everybody's seen the power of technology and how it can help. And yeah, no, so it's been cool to hear you giving them like the platform to tell their stories. And we have a ton of people that are hoping to get on. And I know you've been biased to the event organizer side of late, so hopefully we can keep that going. Because yeah, there's each one has their own unique story, right? I mean, we talk about all the 120 different sports, and each one has different ways of doing things, and I think it's great for people to hear. I mean, that's a big part of our industry, is just like, what works for you, and what should I be doing to help with this. That could be a good episode, like a Q&A with an expert, not me, but we'll get we'll get some rights holders in here. That'd be cool.
Yeah, I think that's been fun too. I mean, the different types of sports that we've had, it's hard to explain just how many different types of events like round net or knife throwing or bass
Cool.
fishing, track and field. I'm constantly learning. Those aren't sports that we know too much about, and so getting to learn from the experts in the different sports has been really fun too. Um,
Yeah, but what's been cool too is seeing like the foundational needs for these event organizers is it's all the same. It's, finding the best venue possible, um, and then now they have to run the event. So getting that support and seeing the partnership between a destination and an event organizer like is crucial to the success for their events.
yeah,
So the more we can, preach that, but that's what everybody ends up saying, like how you know a great partnership with the actual destination, not just the facility, is can is leaps and bounds better than just going to directly to the facility. So yeah, we'll continue to
totally.
do our part at Play Easy. For all my event organizers out there, you'll continually get emails from me. I'm here to talk sometime a little, maybe too much, but yeah, looking forward to bringing more groups to the network. Um, are we? We're about an hour here. What do you think?
Yep, yeah, I think we are. That was a great way to end. So Ryan, thank you so much for
But
joining us.
Carrie, seriously though, we can we do can we schedule the episode for who would interview you though? Would I have to do it? Maybe.
Interview
I
me?
want to, yeah, I want to do a complete flip here. Because
Sure.
Carrie, like she said, is had pretty much managed everything in our at Play Easy. And your story's incredible. So you kind of touch on it sometimes in the episodes, but obviously you're asking questions. I think we should reverse it here soon.
Okay. All right. I'll leave that up to you. We'll get it
All right.
scheduled. But
I'll talk to Joe Rogan.
but yeah, yeah, sure. No, but Ryan, thank you so much. This has been really fun, and really appreciate you taking the time. And it was fun to reflect on 7 years. It's
Yeah,
been
no, it's been great. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for listening to me babble. And yeah, hopefully there were a few things in there that were interesting. But yeah,
yes,
great
proud
seeing
of
you.
you.
We'll see you at the next
Yes.
conference.
You too. All
All right.
right. Thanks everyone. Until next time. Bye.